Good morning and God bless you. Thank you for watching RomaniaMission.tv. My name is Martin Mallette and I am living here in Bucharest, Romania in Eastern Europe. But this goes all over the world and also in America. Some of you have written and asked me, Brother Martin, can you know that you have eternal life? There's three things I want to bring you today. What is eternal life? How do I get eternal life? And how long does it last? Amen? So I want to give you those three things. Number one is, what is eternal life? Number one is, life is not a period of time, eternal life. Eternal life is a person. Let me show you what it says here. In 1 John chapter 5, I'll read it to you straight out of the Word of God. It says, these things are written that you may know that you have eternal life. What things are written? Let's see what it says. What things is he talking about here in 1 John chapter 5? Let's look at it. 1 John chapter 5 verse 13. But in 11 it says this, he that hath the Son hath life. Let me read it to you. And this is a record that God hath given to us eternal life. Now listen. And this life is in his Son. So if you have the Son, you have eternal life. If you have a hope, you don't have anything. You have to have the Son. What? S-O-N, okay, Son. The Son of God, who's the Lord Jesus Christ, and you need to come to Him personally and meet Him. This is eternal life. And then it says in verse 13 of the same chapter, these things have I written unto you that you may believe on the name of the Son of God, that you may know that you have eternal life. How do I know that I have eternal life? Well, there's a lot of reasons I could tell you about, as far as outwardly. I became a new creature. I used to do a lot of different stuff like everybody else does in the world today, like drinking and drugs and different things. I thought was trying to find pleasure, trying to get high and all that stuff. And one day I met the Lord Jesus Christ, and I've never had to do drugs. I don't have to drink. I don't drink. Because I don't need to. Somebody says, and somebody was talking to me not long ago and said, Brother Martin, or said, they said, brother, they said, Mr. Martin, you want to have a drink with us? I was some workers, and I said, no, sir. I said, I don't drink anymore. I don't drink. Don't have to have it. I see I'm already high. They said, well, don't you don't like to feel good? I said, man, I feel so good now, I can't hardly stand it. The Bible says the same Spirit that raised Jesus Christ from the dead lives in me, that same Spirit, and He quickens my mortal body. He gives me health, strength, joy, peace. I have a peace of mind and a peace of heart. I can sleep at night. Amen. I noticed the other day they had on the news this young woman who was in a car and she was scratching herself. She was doing smack or doing what they call heroin or some kind of downer, and she was just scratching herself. She couldn't stay awake. And I'm thinking, people are trying everything they can to escape reality. Amen. They want to feel or get something, but I'm telling you what, in Christ, eternal life gives you everything. I became a brand new creature. You know, before I became a new creature, I was a miserable, well, I say miserable. I had money, had a name, but I was miserable in my heart because I knew that if I died in the condition I was in, I knew where I was going. Because the Bible says, for the wages of sin is death. And I'll never forget one time, my dear sister, my oldest sister, Joanne, she sent me a little gospel tract by Chick Publication. You might have seen them like a little cartoon, they're kind of long ways, rectangle, you know. And it says, this was your life. And I opened it up, and the first verse on it said this. And it's appointed unto man once to die, but after this the judgment. When I seen that, I threw it across the room and put it on the table and started whistling and looking. I didn't want to face the fact that one day I was going to die, but my friend, I got news for you. Whether you like it or not, or whether you believe it or not, you're going to die one day, and you're going to stand before a holy God. You say, I believe when I die that there's no God and I'm just going to be gone. I'll come back as a cow or rabbit or something. No, let me tell you something. You know down deep in your heart, when you get ready to die, you let a pain hit you in the chest before you can call the 911. You'll be crying, oh, God, have mercy. Why are you saying God now? Amen. You understand what I'm talking about? Eternal life is knowing God the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ the Lord. Not just knowing about Him. Oh, I know about a lot of people. I can tell you a lot of things about President Bush I can tell you a lot of things about presidents. I remember when I first came to Romania. Boy, the people said, where are you from? I said, America. And they'd say, boy, they liked it. They respected America. And then Bill Clinton got in there and all that pervert stuff. And they laughed. They make jokes about Bill Clinton and disrespect America. And now, with Trump in there, President Trump, people have a respect in this country. I'm talking about Eastern Europe, where I live. And I see a lot of different people. Amen. They respect America, and they love President Trump. And they said, I wish that President Trump would come over here and be our president and clean up this swamp we have over here. You see, people everywhere know that there are certain people dishonest in the government that steal everything the poor people own. Amen? But that God, every now and then, will raise up somebody. If God's people will pray, He'll raise up people that'll set some things in order. Hallelujah. I'm getting in politics, but I just want to tell you that. I'm so grateful what the Lord's doing in America. Amen. And I pray every day God will expose them demon rats, you say Democrats or demon rats or whatever they call them, and expose them for who they are and what they're doing. Amen. But here's the thing. We're talking about eternal life. How do I get eternal life? Well, you have to come to the Lord Jesus and meet Him. Well, how do you do that, Brother Martin? Getting honest in your heart. Most people pray, but they pray very dishonest. I did for years. I was kind of like what we call over here, con man. You know what I mean? You kind of come to God. Oh, God, I promise you, God. I do sometimes cry. Oh, if you get me out of this one. Oh, God, I promise you, God. I'm going to get right and go to church and do God, quit smoking, drinking, cussing, lying, cheating, stealing, and all that other stuff. And then Sunday morning I'll be in church, Lord, you just give me a chance. I promise. If you'll have mercy on me, Lord. You've been there, hadn't you? Oh, God, don't let my grandmama die. I promise you I'm going to go to. And then the next week you're worse off than you were the week before. You know what I'm talking about. Because you're slave to sin. And sin is what the devil put in the Garden of Eden, and it passed through Adam down to you, amen, and me, until that glorious day I came to Jesus and bowed to Him. Hallelujah. I received Him as Lord and Savior. I'll never forget that day. I was walking somewhere in Florida, and there was two young people singing that song, Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. Psalms 48, amen. And they said, sir, if you'll come to Jesus, He'll save you because He loves you and He died for you. The Bible said, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him shall not perish, but have everlasting life, eternal life. Amen. That's how you have it. You have to come to Jesus. Amen. You have to meet Him at the cross. There's a song goes, at the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. You remember that old slave trader, that John Newton that came to the Lord? He was such a wicked man. The Bible said, it's what he said, that in the Bible it says that, talking about the prodigal son, he was lost. He was dead, and now he's alive. He was lost, and now he's found. Every lost person that doesn't know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior are lost. They need to be found. And the only way they can be found is through the love of God, amen, when they come to Jesus Christ and receive Him as the Lord. You said, Brother Martin, are you glad you did? I was 23 years old when I received Jesus Christ as my Lord. But I had to come to myself. I had to get to the place that I realized that all my friends wasn't friends. Amen. When my money run out, I was like the prodigal son, and I ended up in the hog pen. I looked around, and all my so-called friends wasn't friends. Amen. They're your friends as long as you got money and everything's going good for you. But a friend, there's no friend like the Lord Jesus Christ. There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. He laid His life down for you. Who else would die for you? Huh? Well, the Bible said He did. And this is eternal life, that you may know Him. Okay, that's what eternal life is. Know Him personally. Not know about Him. I know about Trump, but I don't know Him personally. Amen. Can you imagine me going up to the White House and knocking on the door and saying, well, I want to see Don. They said, who? I said, Donald. Donald? Who? Who are you? Do you know him? I said, no, I don't know him, but I know about him. That's where a lot of church members are. They know all about him. Oh yeah, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. His mother's name was Mary, and his stepdaddy's name was Joseph the carpenter. He's the carpenter's son. Oh, absolutely. Oh, little town of Bethlehem. They'll sing all those songs. They never met the Lord Jesus Christ personally, amen. You can know all about him, but if you don't know him, it won't do you any good, because one day you're going to meet God. I'm going to stand before him. All of us will. The Bible said it's appointed unto man once to die, but after this the judgment. And a lot of people say in Mark chapter 7, it says 21, it says they come to him and they knock on the door. Mark chapter 7. And say, Lord, Lord. And he said, and they say, Lord, we've done all these miracles. We preach. We're missionaries. We're singers. We're preachers. And we've done this and that and give money to the poor. And Jesus Christ is going to say, I never knew you. You see? It's not about what you do. It's about what God has done. Amen. Through his Son, the Lord Jesus Christ. And when you come to him and you bow to him and receive him as Lord and Savior, he'll save you. Amen. And make you a brand new person. Give you a brand new heart. Give you his divine nature. Give you his righteousness. Give you power. Power. You mean I can say, oh, do this? No, no, no. I'm talking about ability and authority. Amen. You know, and that's what God talks about when he says all power is given unto me. And he gives it to us, his children. He loves us and he loves you. And he wants you to come to him. Do you know him today? So that's what eternal life is, knowing the Father. This is how you get it. You come to him. Will it last forever? It lasts as long as God lasts. Amen. You mean, how do you know that, Brother Martin? Because the Bible says that Jesus Christ is eternal. When I received him, he lives in me. I have eternal life. Not going to have eternal life, but in 1 John says, these things are written that you may know that you have eternal life. Hallelujah. So I know that I have eternal life. How? Because he's in me. Amen. I'm a new creature in Christ. I pass from death unto life. I love the brethren. The Bible said he gave me a new heart, gave me a new tongue. You ought to have heard that other one. Oh, I tell you what, you'd put your fingers in your ears. Amen. But he's gave me a brand new tongue that praises him and glorifies him. Do you know him today, my friend? Would you come to him? Would you come to him? Just tell him, Father, pray like this. Father, I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And I believe he died on the cross for my sins. And I want to humble myself today before you. I believe you. Lord, it's your goodness that I'm not consumed already. I should have died a long time ago when my friends died in that car wreck and all that other stuff. But Father, I believe in Jesus Christ the Lord, and I receive him as my Lord and Savior. I don't want to serve Satan anymore. I don't want to serve sin anymore. I want Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Come in my heart and life and save me right now in Jesus' name, just like when you got married. Amen? And you said, I do. That's what you do to the Lord. Lord, here I do. I give you my heart. Come in my heart and life and save me. I believe you. That you died for me. That you rose again the third day. Come in my heart and life and save me. He'll do it. He'll do it right now. God bless you. See you tomorrow.